Last week, we talked about marketing. And marketing is where you're creating content, publishing it widely and frequently over time, building a following of people who buy into whatever it is you're talking about in your marketing material. This is you selling your worldview to them, your ideas, your concepts, your beliefs, the things that make them a good citizen of your environment and that predispose them to want the offer you're going to make. So marketing is not selling. Marketing is more like preparing for the sale. The offer is the next thing for you to think about. And that is really, what is it I can give people they're willing to pay for? What do they want to buy? You may not be able to deliver 100% of what they want, but how close can you get? That's the question to ask yourself. Get as close as possible. I just kind of blew past the offer as if it was no big deal. It's a very big deal. If you don't get that right, nothing else you do is going to work very well. So you've got to make the offer irresistible. They must walk away from knowing the details of the offer, which is what you get, what it does for you, how it works, what's the transformation, all that rolled up into a very succinct, here's what I have for you, here's how it'll help you, here's how to get it kind of summary. If there's interest, we'll spend a whole episode on making the right kind of irresistible offer. For now, I'd recommend you get this book, How to Write Copy That Sells, and read the chapter on making irresistible offers and build one of those. That brings us to the selling process. Now, everybody has a sales process. You just probably don't realize what it is. But it could be an e-commerce store. So you have a storefront, you have individual entries of the products, and your process is people come to the store, look at the merchandise, pick the thing they want, click on it, and buy it. That's a sales process. Another process might be you have people schedule a discovery call. You or one of your sales reps gets on that call with them and closes the deal. That's a sales process. Many, if not most of you, have a sales process that looks something like you have a sales page, you send traffic to the sales page copy, which may include a video, makes the offer, makes a powerful case for the offer, and asks for the sale. That's a better process because it allows you to talk to many people at one time. You can scale your offer. If you're selling a digital course, you can scale your offer as big as you want, ask as many people to buy as you want, because adding customers only adds revenue, not work or expense. That's the value, the multiplicative value of a digital course or a digital coaching, group coaching program. If you're more sophisticated, you are probably going to send people to a landing page where they give you their email address in exchange for a lead magnet, something of value they're willing to give up their email for, and then you can email them sequentially and lead them to your sales page. That's a much better process because it builds a list for you first, and you can take that list and market to it until they're ready for the offer, then make the offer. Your sales process might include more sophisticated options like adding a countdown clock and a deadline and scarcity. And then you may have a follow-up system that downsells people who haven't bought the main offer, etc., etc., etc. So that can get all kinds of complex. Meanwhile, you are in luck. My longtime friend, Jeff Walker, is currently hosting his annual free masterclass in the product launch formula. Jeff invented this process back in 2005. I bought the first version of PLF, and that's what allowed me to build my business. That's what makes us millions of dollars. We use it every day. This is our sales process. Even though you may not always realize it, everything we do, we think of it as a product launch. And I recommend you do the same because this is what allows you to build a relationship with your customers, to build a community where people perceive you as a helper, not somebody who's trying to sell them something, although you are. You're doing it by helping them. And I could try to walk you through all this, and I could walk you through it. However, I would just recommend you go to the source. And as I said earlier, your timing is perfect because this class is opening up right now. This masterclass is $297, but your old Uncle Ray is going to hook you up for free. Just go to the link below this video or go to rayedwards.com/PLF. That will take you to the registration page for this $297 masterclass, and you get in free. Do it. Watch all the videos. This is only going to be available for a short time. So Jeff opens up the masterclass once a year. He makes it available for a few days. Then he takes all that material off the web, and then he does open up his product launch formula training. I promise I'm going to keep you informed if you're on my email newsletter list. Just sign up for that at the link that you see in the description below this video, and we'll keep you informed about the PLF masterclass. Make no mistake about it. This is the best sales process. And then after the masterclass closes down, I'll be sharing with you over the next few weeks about how you can increase the power of PLF, increase the power of your offers, of your emails, using the power of the right words in the right order at the right time. With that, we're going to transition to a new segment on the show called Success Focus. Today, I want to introduce you to Melanie and Jason Crane, two friends who also happen to be students of mine, and they are doing big things in the world of entrepreneurship and relationships. This will be fascinating, so let's dive in. Melanie and Jason, it's so good to have you on the podcast. I'd love it if you could just take a minute to kind of give your story about how you came to be in this. Tell us a little bit about your business, about your story, how you got here. Go.
Well, thank you so much for having us on with you, and we really appreciate it. It's an honor. So we've been married 25 years. We just celebrated our anniversary, and we are entrepreneurs. We are providing coaching, training, and mentoring for business women, entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Tell me about the women that you're helping, that you're working with, and how you're helping them. What are some of the challenges that you find facing women entrepreneurs who have families? I assume that's probably a big part of who you're working with.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So the women that really resonate with our message are feeling this struggle of really wanting to put this effort and time and everything into growing their business because they feel this internal call to really serve the community, to change worlds, to change lives. And yet they feel guilty about the time that they're putting into their business. And they're also seeing some of that. The reason for that guilt is because their relationships with their spouses and their children are not where they want them to be. And so they're in suffering, they're frustrated. They're like, I want this dream, but I don't want to sacrifice it, my family and my children and that connection in order to be able to have the success. And so this total internal turmoil of wanting to create something really powerful in the business world and have a thriving, connected, passionate marriage as well.
What made you decide this was the direction you're going to go with your business?
It's honestly, the only answer is because we feel called from God to do this, to help others, because we have been able to change our whole marriage and make it amazing and have she's my best friend. I'm her best friend. We just love spending time together and, doing that. And if we can reach out and touch others, then we can make a huge difference for them as we've had a huge change in our own marriage.
Yeah, recognizing 17 years ago when I was really starting to put my head down, like we've been in the entrepreneurial world since the beginning of our relationship and, 25 years ago. But it was 17 years ago that I was like, I put my head down, I put my blinders on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be serious about my business. I'm going to be serious about growing it. And I ended up, in the name of eliminating distractions, I ended up sacrificing our relationship, sacrificing our family on the altar of success. And I saw that in our own story, I saw multiple people around me, colleagues and other entrepreneurs that were dealing with the same thing, but their marriages fell apart. Their marriages didn't last. And it was like, well, what did we do differently? How did we make this work? What are the steps that we took in order to save our relationship versus letting it fall apart and letting it go? And so now 17 years later, it's just been perpetuated, right? That more and more people that we've come in contact with that are struggling in their relationships and want that, but don't know how to make it work, don't know how to have both sides of it. We're like, we have something that people want. And so we feel called to share what it is that we've done.
Yeah. And I love the energy the two of you bring to this work. It's always, you're in our mastermind group. So it's always great when we get together in person for the group, because you bring an electric presence into the room, and all the other members love when you guys are there for the meetings, because you just bring the level of energy up and positivity and possibility.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been so great. Just for a moment, what do you think about whether it's our mastermind or somebody else's, or you form one of your own, what do you think about the importance of having a community like that of other entrepreneurs it's easy for me to say, who are supporting you, and it goes both ways. What's the value of having a community like that to push through as you're building your business?
Wow. You can't even measure the value of having a community, because you can, not only can you lean upon them for ideas, but also lean upon them for their own faith and their own belief, their own hope. So having a community there's not a price that you can put upon that for how valuable it is. And, to be able to stay on task, to be accountable to, all of those things are so valuable.
I think for me, being a part of a mastermind for the last 5 years, but specifically yours for the last 3 years, has been completely transformational for me, because in the beginning, I didn't really believe that I had what it took to do the things that I wanted to accomplish. But being around like-minded that are going through the struggles, we're all in this together, and you go through the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of your business. But having a community that you can, number one, be vulnerable with, where you can show up however you're showing up, and you can be able to share the hard things as well as the successes. So you have someone that there is to hold your back when when you're struggling, but also to be a champion and cheer you on when you are having accomplishments and stuff. Has been so huge for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a powerful insight. It's so important. Too many of us try to just go it alone. So I encourage anybody watching to don't try to do it alone. Do it with like-minded people. So you've got this event coming up that you're doing in the very near future. You want to share a little bit about that in case somebody's got some interest, maybe a need? Who's this for? What is it?
This is for married entrepreneur women and their spouses that love them and want to support them. So it's a 3-day intensive to be able to overcome the challenges of that balance, right? The world calls it balancing, but we don't believe in it. We believe in integration and believe in it being a dance. And we talk a lot about that, of creating the framework. And just like you said, everything comes down to mindset. So we go into why the brain works the way it does, why your brain can be such a jerk sometimes, and how to overcome that, how to turn those dials down on the mindset, but also how to have better communication between your spouse and those that you work with, whether it's if you have staff and whatnot, being able to have crucial conversations without contention, being able to overcome that conflict without getting caught in the emotion of it. So we help you dial that down.
Also the importance of being accountable. So a lot of times, when relationships aren't working well, it's because we're blaming. We're thinking it's all about the other person, when what we teach is actually that it's not about the other person at all. It's about ourselves only. And it has nothing to do with what they do. So we have full accountability in responding versus reacting. We teach something that we call do-overs. Sometimes we've even said it's the do-over dance. And these are all tools that we have developed over the last, quarter of a century that have made a significant difference for us and others that we've taught these things to.
So is this for people with marriages that are already perfect and everything's going great and they just want to make it a little bit better?
Only for them.
Is there such thing as a perfect marriage? I don't believe there is.
I haven't seen one yet.
There's perfect for us marriages. But yeah, no, this is for everybody who wants to improve their marriage and their business, to be able to make a difference.
So what if I have this thought that occurred to me as people are thinking about doing something like this? Maybe somebody might find themselves in a position of thinking, well, I want to get my husband to come with me to this, but how do I get him to do that without telling him, look, our marriage is screwed up and these people help us fix it? Because that's not going to be really a powerful message getting that guy to want to come.
Correct.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What we say is that you can be the catalyst for change in your relationship. It only took one of us to make a stand for your marriage, and it transformed our relationship, because by him taking a stand, completely helped me to wake up and to see what was worth it, and what to let go of, what to hold on to. And so you absolutely, even if your spouse doesn't attend, that you can still have a powerful experience. Now, to have the husbands join, we make it fun. It is more, it's not just, here, I'm here to fix you.
Yeah,
no,
I've heard that before.
It's not about that. It's not, because it is a dance. And we really integrate dance into this, as far as the understanding roles in your relationship and support, and how you can breathe belief, because it's not just about you supporting her as the husband, but it's also how she can support you and how she can meet your needs.
I love that. So the promise of coming to this 3-day intensive is, if you come, this is what will happen. What's the promise?
The promise is to walk away with knowing you absolutely have the tools that you need to transform your relationship and transform your business.
Yes.
That you can have confidence that the conflicts that you're experiencing in your relationship absolutely can be overturned without slamming doors.
You know what? One of the things too is, we recently met with another couple, and one of the things that they walked away with during that time was, oh my gosh, we actually have more hope than we realized. Because I think that when you get into it, you're kind of spiraling, whether that's up or down, and you can't even see what's going on. And the good things that you are doing in your relationship, because you're so focused on the bad things that are happening. And so one of the things that we walk away with, through coming to this event, is you actually have some tools that you're already using that are really good, but here's a whole bunch of more tools that can absolutely transform your marriage and your business and make things so much better.
Yeah, that are practical, that are actual things that you can put into place right now, today, in the moment.
Yeah. And I know that, as we were talking earlier, the energy the two of you bring, that's a big part of this. For folks who show up ready to play the game, you're going to have your skills increased, and I know you're going to get results. So where do people go if they want to find out about we'll put the link in the show notes, but just make sure we just give them somewhere to go if they want to find out more and they want to be at the event.
Yeah, it's www.bamprosperity.com.
BAM Prosperity.
stands for business and marriage.
Ah, I see what you did there. I like that. Well, thank you so much, the two of you, for being here. I really love and appreciate both of you.
Well, thank you so much for having us on, Ray.
That's it for this week. We're going to wrap this up. If you watch this video on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and make a comment or ask a question below the video. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, then please type in your questions and your comments in Spotify or whatever app you use to listen to podcasts. Till next time, here's to your continued prosperity. See you soon.